Hello, hello. Where's Lainey? Lainey's here.
Hello, Grace. You would think after all the years I've done this, I would know how to turn my camera on and unmute, but here we are. This is who I am. I work with all the things. Okay, so hi everyone. It's Lainey and Grace from the library marketing team, aka Library Love Fest, and we have such an awesome afternoon planned for you all. So thank you for joining us. We are going to do a lot of fun things, but we're going to talk about one book for half the hour and have on all the authors, and then we are going to switch to do a little presentation buzz at the end, so don't leave before that happens. But we are just really having a joyful afternoon. Grace, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm very, very excited. I've been looking forward to this all week, and you may have seen our little social media posts. All of the artists made really great promo videos for us, so we're really excited. Should we jump right in?
Well, I was going to say, thank you for reminding me. If you didn't go see the promo videos, we were just so honored that all of our authors today took the time to make that for us. And you can go back and watch those. Maybe we'll stick some links later in the chat. But today we're here to talk about No Tea, No Shade, Life as a Drag Queen. And that book comes out September 23rd, so not very long. We're very excited. And it's a essay collection, a collective anthem, and we have all one coming a little later, but right now live five authors of this essay collection. And Booklist said No Tea No Shade is an essential read for anyone who has searched for a way to feel like themselves. And I have to agree. The whole time reading it, no holds barred, like very very honest about a lot of things. The conversations you'll hear more about each section of this essay collection and what topics they cover. But it was such a joyful read too. And I hope that you get the joy from it as well and you enjoy this read. I do want to throw out that the audiobook with our wonderful narrators, I should say authors and narrators. The audiobook is up early on NetGalley, so you can go listen to the audiobook as well as read the eGalley, and both of them are available on Edelweiss and NetGalley. So, without further ado, now that we've told you a little bit about the book coming out September 23rd, let's bring on our first guest.
Yeah, so I am very excited to be introducing Kennedy Ann Scott, who I am going to ask to come on camera now. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have you,
Well,
and
thank you for having me.
you look fabulous. I love the hearts for the Love Fest.
The Love Fest.
I'm gonna read a short bio, and then you can give everyone a bit about your section of the book. So,
Perfect.
Kennedy Ann Scott is the stage name of Benjamin Slinkard. Benjamin is a blue ribbon teacher and has been awarded Teacher of the Year for his service as an educator for Metro Public Schools. He has been recognized by the Nashville community as a top performer and claims residency at the Lipstick Lounge. And if you're in Nashville and you haven't been, you should definitely go. Benjamin resides in Nashville, Tennessee, and is an advocate for children and members of the LGBTQIA community. So thank you so much for being here.
Gosh, thank you. I'm super excited to be here. So, my section of the book, I talk a lot about education and drag, how I balance everything, and what I've experienced in my time there, being a teacher in the South, and also being a drag queen in the South, and how I do it all. I also talk a lot about relationships, not only with my family, but past partners that I've had, and all of the things that go in with that. I talk about my time growing up and being bullied in one of the essays, and I also speak about the Tennessee drag ban that they tried to push through on us, and they are still trying. They're trying to push it back through in 2026. So I talk a lot about the relationships that I've had, the relationships that I have now, how my parents are with me now and in the past. So a plethora of different viewpoints of my life and just kind of snapshots of it.
I love that. Thank you so much. I love that you have that perspective as a teacher. So I did want to ask you, you talk about these overlapping worlds of entertainment and education, and the best teachers are entertainers as well.
For sure.
Um, how do you feel like the skills you have as a performer approach help like inform your teaching approach, or vice versa? How does your teaching approach shape your perspective as an artist?
Yeah, I mean, they go hand in hand, right? We're in that technological era where students have to be entertained. Their minds are constantly going, and we are competing against so many things. So I have to entertain my students at the same time that I teach them and get them to grow their cognitive abilities. So it's up to me to hold their focus and keep them going on the path of learning. And I was a kindergarten teacher for 14 years, so I really know how to deal with the littles a lot. And at the same time, like the bar, they're littles as well. So when people get to drinking, they act like kindergartners. So it's the same. I'm doing the same job all day long, really and essentially. But I now teach 8th grade middle school, and so I've got to like take what I have grown as a teacher and in the entertainment business. And apply that to middle school because they are ruthless. They will call you out on everything. They are very blunt and honest, and so I kind of have to keep up with the lingo. I have to keep up with what's going on all over the place. So being an entertainer and staying fresh within being a drag queen also helps me in the classroom as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And I think, like librarians, teachers are really on the front lines for people. And, you're a teacher, but you're also a social worker and you're doing all of these things. So thank you for that.
Oh,
Um,
thank you. Yeah.
and I'm
And
gonna
middle school. Bless you.
Honey, I
Yeah.
got called iconic last year by 8th graders, so I can die. I'm good.
oh yeah, that's the highest compliment you can receive. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I am gonna pass it off to Lainey for our next artist.
Yes. Lagoona Blue, come on down.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Welcome. It's
Thank you. Thank you so
great.
much for having me.
Do I spy Britney Spears in the background? Yes, I
Honey,
do.
she is, you know what's so funny? All of my life, I wanted a Britney Spears poster in my room, which, it's funny. I write about my connection to drag and to music in the book. But all my life I've always wanted one. And I found this poster at a Five Below and I couldn't leave without it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Money well spent. Money well spent.
Exactly. Hi, everybody. My name is
Oh,
David Brumfield or Lagoona Blue. I'm known as New York City's mermaid pop star. And
I'm gonna do a little bio if it's
oh my
okay.
goodness,
I
I
want to give you
fun.
your full props, so I don't want to interrupt,
Please,
but I'm gonna do
please.
your bio. So, Lagoona Blue is a musician, actor, and drag artist based in New York City. Since 2021, the self-titled mermaid pop star has released her debut EP Aqua and debut studio album Underwater Bubble Pop. She's been featured on television shows such as America's Got Talent, The Voice, and Nailed It. In 2024, she originated the role of Tuna Turner in the off-Broadway hit Drag the Musical. Welcome. Tell us about your part of the book.
Thank you. Wow, what a bio. My goodness. I was like, you ever pat yourself on the back? This was so exciting to write. My part of the book is honestly, I think for me, I was reading it back and I was like, wow, Laguna, you really went there. They're journal entries for me. Drag has totally changed my life. And I think drag is one of the big reasons why I'm even still here today. It totally my story is one of survival, and I've been through many obstacles that were very life-changing. But drag was something that really just helped me come into my own and discover who I am, not only who I am as a person, but as an artist. And it connected all these things that I used to be so ashamed of. Um, Growing up, it became like this beautiful highlight, this celebration of all these things I used to hate about myself. So, it was really, that's what my section's all about. It's all about like how drag has changed my life and how we as artists, thrive through obstacles, through art. And then there's also one about, just how uncomfortable drag is, because the reality is beauty is very painful. But so yeah, it's a fun little section that I hope people and readers enjoy.
No, it's so great. I mean, we talked a little bit about, you can't have all of the great without the downs, right? So
Mhm.
being very honest in this book, everyone's being very honest. But yeah, I thought you went there and I appreciate it, and so thank you.
Yeah.
So I had a question. So you talk about navigating multiple kind of conflicting sometimes identities.
Oh yeah.
And so how has your early love for music and performance served as a sanctuary for you?
Well, I guess like music just has always been the thing that got me through. And I think it defined my queerness as a kid and also has defined my art as a queer artist. As a kid, music was one of the only places that felt really safe for me to express myself because it was just for me. It was like me and my headphones, and obviously me and the voice, and the songs that I sang. So, I guess music is specifically Britney Spears and the pop stars of the millennium. They they were my first like introduction to anything that was salacious, anything that was any sort of I don't know, sexual power. Um or the feminine divine that felt so like guarded and not allowed for me. It was like the first place that I could explore. And so now as an artist, it's really amazing that this thing that so connected to as a musician now, the thing that I want to do now is make music and now I am her. I literally that's what I do for a living is I get to sing and be a mermaid pop star. So it's a really beautiful thing. And I feel so grateful that I've had throughout the obstacles have found a way to really create a dream life for myself and a safe place for not only me, but little David to thrive.
Oh, I love that. I
Thanks.
know. I think we all, well, I can speak for myself, but in the time Britney Spears became such an icon, and it was
Right?
like she can do that. We're like everything she's doing, it's
Right.
allowed, and it's so nice to harness that energy.
Absolutely.
I love
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah, and I
Well,
got
thank you.
Thank you.
Laguna by accident last night, which was such a joy. You got on stage and I was like, wait a minute. Oh my God, it was so fun. And I got to hear you sing and you were so talented and it was just such a joy. So thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much. That means so much to me. Thanks, y'all. I'm so excited to be here.
It was a
Hey,
blast. So
we'll see
thank
you in a minute. I'm going to hand off back to Grace.
and I am going to welcome on Julie J.
Hi,
Hello.
everybody. Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are.
We're so excited for you to be here.
Thank you.
I was just so obsessed with you. Well, I'll get to that, but you won Miss Bushwig, and that was very exciting. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
But I'm gonna do a quick bio. So Julie J is a Brooklyn-based actress, drag artist, and community organizer. Julie stars in the horror comedy film Queens of the Dead. In 2023, she was named Miss Bushwig at the nation's largest drag festival, and in 2024, she won Entertainer of the Year at the Glam Awards. She is the founder of Stand Up NYC, which has raised more than $100,000 for trans and LGBTQIA plus organizations. So thank you so much for being here, and I'm gonna let you tell everyone about your section of the book.
Yeah, absolutely. I have one small correction to make, Grace, to
Oh,
that bio.
I'm so
But it's a good thing. I think it's something that we'll all like be happy about. It's actually $125,000,
okay. I'm
which
glad that
was
that was the correction.
yeah, no, yeah, just that's but I all that to say is that the work is not done. We're still doing it. It's active. The work is active. But I'm so excited about the book. I actually literally yesterday, I've been out of town and literally yesterday the box with the hardcover was waiting on my doorstep. So I had the chance to look and say, well, what did I write about? What exactly was I talking about in the book? But my section of the book, I talk a lot about drag activism and grassroots organizing. I also talk a bit about drag futurity and what I think and hope the future of drag looks like for kind of the next generation of drag entertainers that are being born right now. I feel like every hour there's about 3 drag performers that are being born in real time. So actually, as we're having this meeting right now, there's some 14-year-old in rural Texas who is putting on lip gloss for the first time. I also talk about being trans in nightlife and what that looks like, how drag informs it, how drag sometimes is a challenge with being trans and operating within our world, and how it's given me the tools to move through life. And what else do I talk about? Intergenerational relationships in drag. So what does it look like for us to, as queer and trans people, to be connected to our history? And sometimes, realizing that there's a great part of our history that has been lost, that we are still searching for.
Thank you so much. I really, really valued the part about our intergenerational relationships, especially because, the AIDS crisis did
Yes.
take out a massive chunk of what would now be queer elders. So I was really, really happy to see, that part brought to light. And I also had a question for you. So you just talked about that connection between art as a drag entertainer and then this commitment to activism. So how do you see, your performance as this tool for political expression and kind of defiance?
Mm. Oh, that's a good question. I I try to stray away from using RuPaul quotes or referencing RuPaul, but I will do so right now. RuPaul frequently says, when anybody that walks out of their house in a wig or no wig, a face of makeup and high heels, is defying everything, every step of the way. And so I think for me, performance is a way for me to express the things that I am at times very scared of. So at times, and this is something I've been thinking a lot about recently, of how do I express anger? How do I express frustration with, the world that we live in? Because at times there's a lot to be frustrated about or angry about. And I find that performance allows me to do that, and I'm able to connect my drag performance to my deep-seated desire to make a difference in the life of people who live on the margins of our society. So drag has kind of opened the door and pushed me, for better or worse, down the hallway and said, you have the ability to command a group of people, to influence a group of people, to be a voice for a group of people. So this vocation that I have, I try my very best to use it when I'm able, and also to advocate for people that look like me. I'll just stray away from using RuPaul quote and use a Julie J quote where I say, like, any door that I walk through makes it easier for the 14-year-old in rural Texas who is trying on something for the first time. It makes it easier for them. So if I can do that, I've done my job.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. That was phenomenal. And I'm gonna pass it off to Lainey again.
I just have to say that was so beautiful and like snapping. Yes. So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that. Okay, I'm gonna welcome on. Yes, someone in our chat says Julie J for president. I agree. Uh, so Olivia Lux, come on down.
Hello, y'all. What's up?
Hello. I'm gonna do a brief bio and then I can't wait to hear more. So, Olivia Lux is a drag artist, actor, singer, and musician who placed in the top 5 on season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race. She has starred in lead roles in productions of Rent, Kinky Boots, and more. She has done television and campaigns for brands including Starbucks, Burger King, and Paramount. Olivia is also a member of the legendary ballroom house of Miyagi Mulgar. I'm sorry if I said that wrong. And we're so excited to have you on. Tell us more about your section of the book. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. This honestly, truly is a dream come true. I feel like I've talked about sharing more stories in book form for so long, and now getting the opportunity to do so is honestly a dream come true. Last year, when I embarked on the journey and got the opportunity for this, I was going through a lot of really big life changes. One of which is a small update now to the bio of me being on All Stars of Drag Race, and that was a really amazing experience. But it was it pushed me to think about my artistry and who I am as a person right now in this moment a lot more, and reflect on why I decided to do drag to begin with. What were the leading factors up to that, and why do I feel so strongly and passionately about my artistry today? And what are those elements? So I kind of talked about my relationship with body image and my dysphoria that I have, and kind of how I navigated that, and what drag brings to that, right? You know, the padding and the corsets and the undergarments, and what that looks like for me and for possibly another person doing drag artistry. I talk a little bit about dating and drag, you know, as someone that has embarked on the TV, you know, shenanigans. It is a very interesting, a very interesting time out there, and I wanted to share that. But mainly, I talk about my ballroom family, my biological family, my roots there, the inspirations that they've given me, raised by four beautiful, powerful Black women, and how essentially their feminine energy helped birth this artist, and this thing that I call Olivia Lux. And it turned into me. So yeah, I definitely had a lot of time writing about that. And yeah, all the inspirations that have essentially made up my artistry and collection that I currently have, and I'm still building and growing.
Yeah, I did find it so interesting, this like digital conversation and like where one personality maybe bleeds over, or like all of that was a very interesting one to read. And so in the digital age, in that theme, what do you see online platforms and social media influencing the way queer individuals form community and identity? And do you believe that what do you believe are the most pressing conversations we should be having with the community today? Within the community, sorry.
That's a really great question. I mean, I think when we think about drag, LGBTQIA plus communities, subsects of communities, POC folks, all of that. When we think of that and what it used to be, versus now being able to log into something and connect with someone instantly, and to piggyback off of like what Julie J was mentioning about the rural kid, the 14-year-old kid, is like that kid now can log into something and see representation, and can pick up a book like this and feel seen. And I think that that's very, very important. And now more than ever, the visibility of putting your artistry out there, your queer artistry, your activism. Sometimes it feels like activism by just posting your artistry, you know? So I think there's multiple levels with community, but for me and my relationship with drag, I was just out at a drag show last night in New York supporting my daughter, Vanity Levane, and I those moments are just as important as the digital moments. And if anything we take away from that is understanding that the digital age, that is a tool, but the physicalness of storytelling, physical storytelling, and being together physically as a community is also extremely powerful. And that is, to me, the top level of drag and artistry, is physically seeing and experiencing.
Oh, yeah, so great. Thank you.
You
Thank you for that really thoughtful response. Yeah.
Thank you. I am going to welcome on Nina West.
Hello.
Oh,
How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
So good. I was sitting here. Listen, I was sitting here eating some potato. I was like, listen, everyone, this is amazing. Can't wait to read these books. Oh my God.
Who wrote these? And you have a beautiful display behind you as well. So I just wanted to call that out. That is most gorgeous to me.
What? These books? These books? What? This book? What? What?
Wrote a book. What are we talking about? So thank you for being here. I'm going to do a quick intro, and then I'll pass it off to you. So Nina West is an actor, singer, songwriter, producer, author, host, and activist. Nina appeared on RuPaul's Drag Race, released chart-topping music, featured as a voice actor in several high-profile projects, toured the nation in the 20th anniversary production of Broadway's Hairspray, and even performed with Kermit the Frog, which, if that wasn't a life goal for you, it should be. That is, I love it. That is amazing.
Wait, be sure to show the picture again when you're, because it's, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. So I also wanted to call out
Thank you.
the Nina West Foundation and works to amplify and uplift LGBTQIA plus voices, mental health awareness, and equality. She received an honorary doctorate from Columbus College of Art and Design. So Nina, thank you for being here. I'm gonna pass you the virtual mic.
Thanks. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to be part of this project with some just all of these authors are all incredible, brilliant artists who every single day, I think, demonstrate their artistry through their action and through their work. And I think that this book is a really wonderful ability for people to come and meet us where we're at and or where we were, I guess, when we wrote these essays. And a lot's changed since we wrote these essays, but this book is very informative, I think, on on how we can navigate a world that's really challenging and trying to figure out where people like us fit and how we fit and why this book is so important right now because it gives us space and identity. And those are some of the things that I write about in my essays, which are um, drag and philanthropy. I have, as you said, I have the Nina West Foundation. We've raised over $4 million for local and national organizations, and those organizations range anywhere from LGBTQIA plus drop-in centers for youth to suicide prevention and supporting the hotline that's provided by the Trevor Project. And really, I think speaking to the need and filling the gap where oftentimes, especially now, we're seeing a definite lapse in care for our community. I think again, so my first essay is about drag and philanthropy. I write about Drag Queen Story Hour and the importance of representation and seeing ourselves and how queens can possess multitudes and what that looks like, right? And how we exist more than just outside, I think, a binary of how people want to define us. And so Drag Queen Story Hour, I talk about the sanctity of the gay bar, which I think is very, very, very important, and spaces, queer spaces in general. So I talk about kind of like my own history with growing up performing in a queer space and a queer venue with queer people, and how that has informed my life and my career long before I was ever on television on RuPaul's Drag Race. And then which leads to another essay which I wrote, which is entitled Local Queen, which is all about what it means to have connections to a community and to be raised and kind of set forth in the wild by an incredible queer community here in Columbus, Ohio, and how that's impacted my career and how it's impacted my decisions and my choices that I've made throughout my career. And why I still live in Columbus when I could live in anywhere in the world, and I still live here in Columbus, Ohio. And the importance of, I think, that representation on a very base level to LGBTQI plus people who deserve the right to dream and chase exactly everything that they are wanting to accomplish in their lives.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I just wanted to call out something you said that reminded me of what Julie said about how we lost this like generation of people. And I think queer like specific spaces were part of that, especially like lesbian bars and
Yeah.
queer in general. So I just wanted to, yeah, thank you for calling that out.
So lesbian, there's of the few lesbian-owned bars within the United States, one of them is right here in Columbus, Ohio.
Yes,
And
I
so
love that. I love that. New York is lucky. We got a few.
9 lesbian-owned establishments across this country left. Something really staggering and crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I wanted to ask you, you know, doing this activism and this type of career, what has been like the most rewarding aspect for you to see that impact? What has been the most rewarding thing?
Oh, I mean, that's a great question. I think the most rewarding thing is that it's not this really truthfully, the work is not done alone, and it's not I think what motivates me to do the work is being able to do it collaboratively with other people. What motivates me to do the work is I know that what motivated me initially to do this work in activism specifically and use my drag as a platform was because I felt alone. I felt isolated. I didn't see myself. I didn't know where I fit and I didn't know where I belonged. And um, I think Julie had made reference to this about the kid in rural Texas. That speaks to me, and the work that I've done. This is my 25th year of doing drag. I mean, like that is why I'm doing it still, is because this art form is very powerful and it has the ability to truly impact and change lives. And I might not ever see it, but I know it from having it impacted me and touching me to know that this is why I do this. Because I know somewhere, I may not know the direct impact, but I know someone somewhere is definitely is receiving something from the bit of work that I've done, from the small amount of work that I've done, and seeing themselves or finding validation or being told that they're okay, that they deserve to exist, that they deserve to dance and find joy and celebrate who they are. Um, those are things that's what motivates me. That's why I do it. And my joy is having other people to do the work with. That's part of like the joy of this process of this book is like, I mean, I'm such a fan of these people, and every one of these people who is in this book has done the work. And they're doing work in very different ways, and whether it's in the ball scene or whether it's in libraries or whether the work is being done daily by these authors, and it's exciting to be able to see how that is going to impact people who have take the opportunity to read this book or share it in their library or share it in their schools or in a book club or a reading group.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I just want to say Alexis just joined. So we're gonna let them in.
Thank you for saying all of those lovely things about all of everyone here. I just feel like it is so true in this read. You get the joy. Again, I'm not saying it doesn't unveil some of the darker topics because that's life, right? We've got to talk about everything. But the joy is there, and I love that you said you're just fans of you're a fan of everybody. And I love that. So thank you. Okay, so we're gonna do hi. Hold on one second. Where are we? So can everyone Alexis Michelle, we're good? Can you see us? Come on. Come on down, Alexis Michelle. If you're ready. If not, we can circle back. So we're wrapping up some of the individual chats and just hearing a little bit about each person's part of the book. And so we are so happy to have everyone here represented who wrote for the book and all of our authors. We also mentioned the audiobook. So maybe I'll ask when everyone's back on in a minute about the audio process. But we're going to introduce Alexis Michelle, if you're good. I just want to make sure I don't want to throw.
I think there might be some connection issues.
Okay, so just letting everyone know there was a little bit of travel delay, and don't we hate when, of course, like the one time you need things to go, the plane doesn't do what you want it to do. If you could just be like, move, I'll fly it. So when you're ready, come on and talk. You're welcome anytime, but I think we're going to bring everyone back on and just kind of get going. These comments in our chat so excited. I said all the authors bring so much joy and love for their craft and their cause. It's definitely a nice bright spot in my day. The voices are so important to the community. Thank you for speaking out and supporting others as you are. Honesty and bravery for becoming their true selves. We love all of you and support you in the community. I mean, it just goes on and on of just like how much they're enjoying not only just hearing about your experience with this book and kind of going into your own personal experiences, but I think making the way for other people, or just, I don't know, they're just so excited to hear all the thoughtful responses you're giving. So thank you. I think we want to maybe start with this question. So when you start, I think I'm curious, like and anyone can jump in here, but what's the process like writing a book with so many voices? Like, how do you decide? Do you get together and talk about it? Do you write it separately? I don't know. I'm just kind of curious.
So we were, if we all wrote separately. I think that was the beauty of this is that we weren't really given any guidelines other than write what you want to write about. Obviously, we worked with an amazing team at Harper One and our incredible editor Angela, who was amazing and helped guide us and gave us a soft place to land with our topics and ideas and things like that. But I think that we were all really given freedom to write what we wanted to write about, and I think it's been really beautiful now to see um, all of our different you know, stories and experiences through this beautiful art form.
Yeah. And feel free to jump in, but I think that kind of answered the question. So, sorry. So, Alexis Michelle. Hi.
Alexis.
I
I am so grateful for everybody, all of these authors, for Harper One, for this book, for all of you being here, the support of our libraries and our librarians. And I am so sorry that this happened. But this, as any of these other ladies can tell you, this is the life of a jet-setting drag artist. Um, we are often powerless over travel, and we have to practice acceptance. And so I'm grateful even to be able to be here with you all for a few minutes. And of course, I feel like a fool. I don't know what's been said or hasn't been said.
So I'll do a quick intro, just so essentially all we did was do an intro, and then each person talked just a couple of sentences about what they talked about in the book in their section. So I'll do that, but I do want to say one thing I learned so much reading this book is how much you all work so hard, just like you were saying, the life of a jet setter. And I want to point out that everyone here made an effort to be here for the librarians and do this. And so you're calling from the car. Thank you so much. Like, that goes above and beyond. It's so nice of you. So I'm going to do an intro, and if you'll just after that tell us a couple of themes that you wrote about. So Alex Michaels, also known as Alexis Michelle, is an actor, drag artist, activist, and accomplished cook who stormed the international stage on RuPaul's Drag Race Season 9 and All Star Season 8. They've appeared in Blue Bloods, Dragnificent, Drag Me Down the Aisle, True Colors, and PBS series One Voice Broadway, both with the American Pops Orchestra. Alex holds a BFA from the University of Michigan in musical theater, where they also enjoyed writing about the LGBTQ experience in literature. So welcome. Tell us a little bit about what you wrote about.
Hi, thank you. I'm shy for that introduction. Um, you know, I think for all of us, and certainly true for me, we wrote from our experience. And my experience was that of being brought up in New York, being brought up in the theater, the kind of intersection of how drag and theatricality worked in my life, and I think for many of us. Um, but I wrote about a lot of things and like the journey, my experience, this journey in drag, uh, it's been varied and moving as time has gone on. And so at different points, I've learned different things from the art form. I think in the beginning, the theatricality of it was what I connected to first. But along the way, I learned about gender, my own gender. I learned about what drag can fortify you with, what you can take away with you, even when you take the armor off. I wrote about chosen family, which is so important in our world. Whether you're blessed with a wonderful family that you're born into or not, you still have chosen family in this art form. And I just want to say something that maybe extends beyond what I wrote a little bit, which is that the most amazing thing to me about drag and my time in drag, my drag career, is I had a list of dreams as a young person, and some of those have come true, and some of them have yet to come true. But there is this like crazy long list that's growing of things that I never even thought to cook up. And being an author from the perspective of the lens of this art form of drag, I never could have dreamed of this. And that's amazing. I think it's the mark of the imprint that drag has made on the world. I think it's the mark of Harper One really pushing the needle forward, um, and letting drag artists talk about drag in their own words from their own experience. And so I'm just like, I'm amazed. I'm amazed. When I think about this trip I've just been on, and um and the kind of travels I get to do, like these are all things that blow my mind. But jumping on this call to talk about this book with all of you, it's mind blowing. And so I think I've said a mouthful. So yeah.
That's so great. No, thank you. And congratulations to everyone. I mean, you're an author. I mean, if you weren't already an author, but you're an author on this book, and you're so right. Telling your own story in your own words is very important. And this book is gonna live for a long time, and we're excited to get it on the shelves at libraries. I think we've also kind of mentioned, of a group of people who could sit down and hear about acceptance and being included and finding your own voice and having the ability to kind of stretch out and learn who you are. Librarians know that, right? And they're going through something every day, book bans, challenges, to give those stories to people who need to find them. And so this is going to be something else that they can keep in their repertoire, like giving it to someone to learn who they are. And so we actually have a question from our friend Lillian Dabney. What role have libraries played in your lives? And so if you feel so called, you may answer.
I want to jump in real quick because as you were saying that, I never quite understood the parallel between I know a library, the library is open, but I never quite understood the parallel between what a library and a librarian specifically might do for a young person that a drag artist might also do for a young person, which is perhaps give them the one bit of knowledge, information, or even permission to learn an idea that resonates with themselves. It's really powerful, and it just dawned on me as you were saying that, and then that was the question, so I had to say something.
Love that. I know I think talking about drag story hour, like that section of the book I was intrigued by because I know about it, but I also don't know very much about it. But hearing what it goes through just to read a story. It's wild. I don't know if you want to talk about that anymore within the confines of like librarianship, but also if anyone has any library story, jump in. Or we can go to the next one.
Yeah, I was I would frequent the library with my grandparents and my parents like when I was a kid. It was like the thing that, that we did on Saturdays. It was the as a collective activity. Then after school, I would find my way to the library in grade school and middle school every single day while I was waiting for my mom to pick me up after she got off work. And so it was kind of like my latchkey program was getting lost in the stacks of a library. And I mean, that really informed a lot of who I was when I was curious about Friz Freleng or Chuck Jones. When I was really diving down an animation path in my really young life, there was a library. There was a librarian there to point me into the direction. One of the things I find really interesting about the evolution of books and storytelling is when I was a kid, now I'm a lot older than I think almost everybody else on this call, except maybe, well, okay, maybe it's just me, I'm really old. Maybe Alexis, I didn't want to call you out, but okay. But there was never a queer, like a queer YA genre. Like that genre didn't exist when I was a kid and when I was coming out and I was trying to find stories about me. I would wander into a library and I would see a Dameron guide or I might see lesbian poetry, but I never saw stories that really reflected what I was going through. And now that whole genre exists, where you have a queer YA genre, where kids can read about other kids having these experiences and stories. And I think the power of having those available and accessible in a library is really important. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm going to piggyback off of that, but I really think that with libraries and librarians specifically is getting to know the students or the children that come in there and even the young adults and adults. But they get to put those human thoughts and help guide those human thoughts that are all in one space, which is so amazing that we've created where we can have all of this thought in one space of just everything known to man. And I think with me, whenever I went to the libraries, I always went to the fantasy section because it was a way for me to let go of whatever I was dealing with in home and school and guide me towards something that I could hope for in the end, even though I wasn't a fairy at that time. But even though I wasn't a fairy or a mythical creature, I could relate because they too were outcasts in their own society, but they were also the heroes that got to save the day. And I feel like librarians get to be those heroes because they put those books in people's hands that help shape their mind and their thought to not only better themselves, but better our society as a whole. So it's a really important job. And I think it goes along with teaching and how I educate. I work one-on-one with my librarian all the time for assignments. I work in ELA, so English Language Arts. So we're always cooking up something to not only engage our students, but engage our parents in the lives of their students at school. Because I think sometimes it's all seen separate, right? We have our work life, we have our school life, we have our home life. And I think what those books do for us is they bring everything together. And I think that's what our book does. All of us have different perspectives, but they have so many things in common. And I think that's a beautiful thing is that our books, yes, it supports our LGBTQIA plus community, but it's for all humans and all humans can relate to our stories because of some type of theme that we have related to throughout all of our stories or essays.
I also, as you were talking, Kennedy, two things. Number one, I was president of the book club in high school. So I spent a lot of time in the library and I studied literature in college. I have a degree in books. So I I I have been thinking a lot about this age of misinformation that we are in, this like very strange period we're in where, there are so many government officials that are saying, well, there's only two genders. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I have a bookcase over there that details a lot of contrary uh, facts, more or less. And so I think that for me, so much of the library and reading and books and the expansiveness of what literature represents in our society is like it's one of the last places that we have for freedom of information. Um, and even when I think to myself now, I'm sure this is very different now, but I went to Catholic school in Texas as a child. So in my senior year of high school, we had a banned book project, which I'm sure that all of the librarians listening right now are like, oh, you go to bookstores, you go to libraries, there's always a little section that's like banned books. Um, and I think about the times that we're in right now and how the concepts and the stories of the books that were deemed banned at one time are now kind of being reintroduced to audiences as controversial, or more books that will be banned. And it's funny, I was writing this, and I don't know if anyone else thought this, but as I was writing, I was like, yeah, this is about to be banned. We about this somewhere in Kentucky. That Kentucky Barnes and Noble is not gonna put in an order for this one, and that is okay. That's okay. Hopefully they will. And if you are a Kentucky librarian, I'm happy to fly down and speak on it. But I thought to myself that as we were reading it, so I'm like so grateful that we're having the opportunity to talk to librarians, because I think that they are you all are shepherds really for um so many topics and facts, and there's so many facts in this book. It's a book full of lived experiences, right? So there's no government official that can ever look to me and be like, well, drag queens don't exist or they're not real. And I'm like, well, there's about 200 pages of a paperback book that would say differently.
I mean, mic drop. I don't know what else to say. That was great. Yeah. And everyone, you should see this chat, because they're just like, yes, like resounding claps.
Yeah, I actually wanted to call it a few really fantastic comments. People just saying they're so grateful for all of you and how great this hour has been. And then someone said, proud mom of a trans daughter who will be getting this book for her birthday. Thank you for your stories and your leadership. And somebody also put in the Queer Liberation Library, which has a mailing list. I'm on it, and you should be on it too. It's a really, really, really cool organization if you don't know about it. So Tammy Miller, one of our friends, said we had a challenge too. If you're a drag queen and you know it, and there was no way we were moving it. Aw, I love
Yeah. Oh, that was the title. If you're a drag queen, you know it. And
it was a yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, well, I mean, we've gone way over when we said we would go, but I just couldn't stop talking. I think this is just so fantastic. And I hope, I'm so glad also we talked about it's just a book for everyone. It's, anyone can jump in and find something they connect with, but it's also a record of your experiences and a pavement of a way for someone in the future. So I thank you so much for coming on. I do want to quickly say, everyone here has said we're here. Let's go to libraries. So I want to do a quick location check to tell everyone, if you're in this area and would like to have any of our wonderful guests at your library, let us know. So Kennedy is in Nashville, Nina, Columbus, Ohio, Alexis, Olivia are in New York City, Julie J is in New York City, but also specifically Brooklyn. So let us know. We would love to have more conversations.
Also in New York.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was reading and I can't read, apparently. I'm sorry.
The deep blue sea. God.
Thank you, Grace. So yeah, let us
So
know.
we will travel. Queens do travel, so we'll go places. We don't have to just stay in our areas. We'll go to you.
Well, you can, if you're a librarian, you can download the eGalley now, Edelweiss or NetGalley, and the audio on NetGalley, and book comes out September 23rd. So congratulations on the book, and thank you for being here.
This was so wonderful. yeah, again, now so much love still pouring in the chat.
Yeah.
Give this book as a gift to your dear queer and trans friends. Just a lot of love, and thank you all. This was so lovely.
Oh, yes, this is a snapshot moment with all of the books. And thank you so much and for sending a lot of love. And we are just so grateful and honored that you took time to have this afternoon with us. So we'll say our sad, I don't want to say goodbye, but I guess we'll say our goodbyes and we'll stay on everyone for a few book roundups. Thank you. Oh. Okay, Grace, as everyone's saying their goodbye, I'm kind of sad. I don't want to say goodbye. So lovely.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do a quick book what we might even do quicker because we're running out of time because I think everyone, I don't know, if you're here, let us know. Maybe we'll keep going. Just let us know on the timing. But
quick
yeah,
few.
a quick few.
A quick few. Yeah, I mean, if you want to throw up that PowerPoint, we can jump.
Yeah. Let me bring up the jacket so everybody can see the lovely jacket. And yeah, thank you again, everyone. This was so great.
Also, people are saying keep going, so thank you all.
Okay.
So appreciate that.
Going.
All right.
So
yeah,
we just thought we would do essay collections, give you a little roundup of what we have coming or what just came out. Maybe that could be our theme, essay collection. So it's a very general theme, but we have a couple that are out that we'll do quickly. So Grace, if you want to.
Yeah. So mounted by Bitter Kelly. This is on sale now, but again, I just want to call it out. It's this exploration of the history of Blackness and horses. It's a series of essays that looks at Black artists and influencers and the reclamation of the images of cowboys, jockey culture, and the tie between equestrian sport and slavery, the U.S. militarization and colonization. And it all probes at this one question of what does it mean for Black folks to have a relationship with horses in the context of a culture that has used horses against them. And we gave galleys of this away at ALA. So if you've read it, I would love to know what you think. And it is on sale now. So that is mounted. Okay, and then we have Both And. This is an anthology by trans and gender conforming writers of color. There are 15 essays that delve into joy, heartbreak, rage, and self-discovery, edited by the editor-in-chief at Electric Literature, Denny Michelle Norris, who is the first Black openly trans woman to run a major literary publication. So there are essays about casual hookup culture, where a writer discovers her womanhood, to a non-binary molecular biologist having nightmares about their estranged father. And the stories are just, real life trans points of view. And I think that, in our current culture, as this conversation we've been having this whole hour, these stories are more important than ever. So that is Both And that is also on sale now. And next.
Oh, just wanted to let you know we have the Best American series and we have a new one for essays. So coming in 2025, just want to have it on your radar in case it's not already. I'm sure we have different like cookbooks and short stories and fiction, but essays, we just wanted to highlight.
Cool. Okay, The Land is Sweet Forever. Harper literally needs no introduction.
Yeah, I think actually all we need to say is
Harper Lee.
essays from Harper Lee.
Yes, it's a posthumous collection of recently discovered short stories and essays that have been previously published. And it is just really, a gift to have new works by her, after she's passed. So just wanted to call out that one that is on sale October 21st. Next.
Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna have to get out of the screen share because I can't find my notes otherwise. So Grace, if you don't mind throwing those up, or I can after we do a quick.
Share the Edelweiss catalog.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Yeah. So some people can't chew gum and walk. I guess I can't share slides and look at my notes at the same time. So this one, Good Woman by Savala Nolan. This is a raw and lyrical exploration of the confining expectations of womanhood and, if we dare, what lies beyond those limitations. This is from acclaimed essayist, follow-up to her standout collection. The New York Times book review said, "Don't let it get you down." And this is like a lifetime of playing by the rules, and so female social conditioning has led Nolan to kind of think like, okay, that's what I'm supposed to do, but none of it's protected her the way it was advertised to do. But we're living in a physical world created by men for men, and so this really elegantly probes the naughty conditions themselves, the cost of adhering to them, and what happens when one refuses to comply. And there's 12 stunning essays that blend memoir, reportage, and history. And I have to say, when the editor pitched this to all of us at the company, we were like, just hearing from the editor themselves, like it was like, whoa, this is going to be a big book. And so I hope it's on your radar, because it's going to be really cool, and it's getting some good press too. So you're probably gonna see it. I also just love this cover. So that's Good Woman by Savannah Nolan. What's next?
Uncanny Valley Girls. Okay. This is a memoir and essays focusing on horror by Zephyr Lazowski, who is a trans and queer writer. After she ended up in a psych ward in her late 20s, she turned to horror movies as a form of comfort. And, you know, there are people that are not horror movie people. I love horror movies. But many people like me find a lot of connection in horror and are able to explore themes and topics through horror as a medium. And I can't remember who said this. It was probably an author, maybe it was Lainey, I don't know, said that horror isn't just about being scary. It's a way to, you know, dive into things in our society in a deeper way. I think probably a lot of people have said that in different ways, but I wanted to call that out. And it's essentially what Zephyr does in this essay collection. She blends a memoir and theory beautifully to create a nuanced take on horror faves. And she talks about trans narratives, sickness, disability, and it's just a really innovative and cool book.
I will point out that Joe Hill talked about at ALA. I don't know if it's exactly the quote you're talking about, but Joe Hill said horror is not about like sadism, but about empathy.
Oh my God, that was exactly what I was thinking about. I wasn't at that session, but I remember you telling me about it. So thank you, Lainey.
So you're right. I did say it about Joe Hill.
Yes.
Who is so smart, and I could not have come up with that. But yes, I'm glad. I'm glad. All right. Ooh, I love saying this title because it seems like we don't want to answer your question. When someone's like, "What's the Elise Myers title?" We're like, "That's a great question. I'd love to tell you." But then anyway, it's just been a really fun office joke lately. But Elise Myers, so she's lauded as America's best internet best friend. Sorry, America's best internet friend. There you go. And I agree. I've been sucked into all the videos. I can't stop watching. She's got this like laid back style. It's kind of self-deprecating humor on TikTok and other social media outlets. And I'm among her 12 million plus followers. Millions tune into her videos to kind of get a dose of positive, authentic, unfiltered messaging. And she's kind of the influencer, but someone you're really happy to be influenced by because she gives you this kinship. She launched a podcast, it's funny because it's true, in 2022 and immediately shot to the top of the Apple charts. And we're just incredibly happy to have this personal book filled with Lisa's stories and her own drawings. And she can't wait to share it with everyone. I mean, she's been working on this for years, even when she was really young. So it's all coming out now, and I'm happy to have her words written down. So that's Elise Myers. And then,
does anyone else feel that way? I love this title. This is by Eli Ryo, on sale in October, and it's an essay collection from the TikTok star and author of I Didn't Know I Needed This, which is hilarious because does anybody else feel this way? Is kind of the book that I didn't know I needed. And it's a reflection on that period of transition into adulthood and, you know, that classic quarter life crisis and realizing that you're not alone. And we have an idea of kind of what our lives are supposed to be like when we leave college in our early 20s. You're supposed to get a great job, gorgeous apartment. Maybe you're rich like all the girls in Sex and the City. But that's not generally how it goes. Many of us are anxious and confused and comparing ourselves to others. And this book addresses that vulnerability and rawness with the questions like, how do you manage losing a best friend, which is, my opinion, probably one of the worst types of breakups ever. How do you know you're making right decisions? Who am I? What am I doing with my life? So this is for anybody in their 20s and even people in their 30s, and she shares her own story and journey really beautifully.
okay, last but not least, Little Apocalypses. This is Caitlin Tier, who is an senior editor at Cup of Joe. So this is a collection that reimagines the stories we tell about motherhood, climate change, and the end of the world as we know it. How you raise children in a world of rapidly being reshaped by climate change is a question in this book. How do our narratives about climate change and care help us or hinder us in our efforts to get it right? And this explores these questions, navigating the existential predicament of parenting on our planet in crisis. And so it kind of makes you think more deeply about these radical possibilities. There's one that says, apocalyptic rhetoric is shaping our understanding of the climate crisis. How is it? How to performing green motherhood, and calls for refocusing. One of the essays talks about the pressures to perform green motherhood and calls for refocusing efforts to collective action on mutual flourishing. So those are some ideas of what it dives into, but it's really part field guide, part manifesto, part poignant exploration, and deeply personal memoir as at the same time. So I think that is our roundup. So there you go. I have the PowerPoint, which I think, does it have tomorrow's event? Probably. Let's see. No, but I want to tell you that, I want to tell you tomorrow at 7, we're having our Writers to Watch event. So come join us. You're going to hear from 4 authors, including Ann Packer, Jasmine Iolani Hakes, Nicole Glover, and Grace Walker. It's going to be a really good conversation. I'm excited for this one. And there we will reveal our next round of Writers to Watch for October.
Very exciting. So, and we're pumped about this. And I was thinking the other day, we launched Writers to Watch in 2023, January. And Jasmine Iolani Hakes for Hula was one of our first authors on, and it feels so exciting to have her back on tomorrow night. Anyway, I was thinking about that. So yes, that is Image. You can register on Crowdcast and Facebook, and thank you. We're only 10 over. I know
it's pretty good for us. We did a quick round. I'm sorry if we went fast, but we wanted to get a few books in, so you have it is Galley Gab Fest. You got to hear about a lot of different books. So thank you for staying with us, and we are excited to see you tomorrow night. If you enjoyed this program, I hope you join us next month. That will come soon. And thank you, Lisa, your dynamic duo. Thank you. Very sweet of you. We enjoy being here with you. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I'm throwing in the catalog just one more time, because I threw it at the top of the hour, but then I was like, maybe I should have done that at the end.
Yeah.
So
no, it's all good. I feel very joy-filled. I'm ready to go out and have a good day. I hope everyone else is too.
Eat an ice cream and ride a bike and frolic around now. I don't know why that was right.
We could probably make that happen. All right.
It's raining, but
have a good day, everyone. See you tomorrow night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.